Picture this. It's Christmas Day, and two little girls are excitedly tearing open their presents. One gets a brown toy, the other gets pink. They swap because they're both happy. Simple, right? Wrong. Because what happens next will tear a family apart, expose the ugliest side of human greed, and end with one man being permanently banned from Christmas itself. And it all revolves around a fuzzy little collectible toy worth more than most people's weekly paychecks. This is the story of how a 12-year-old girl's innocent Christmas trade turned into a family war that would make the Grinch look reasonable. Buckle up, because this ride gets absolutely wild. The day starts innocently enough. Sophia, a 12-year-old girl, is celebrating Christmas with her extended family. There's the usual chaos of wrapping paper everywhere, the smell of holiday cooking filling the house, and that electric energy that only happens when kids are surrounded by presents and sugar. The living room is a disaster zone of torn gift wrap, ribbon, and those little pieces of tape that somehow end up everywhere. The Christmas tree lights are twinkling, there's music playing softly in the background, and the whole scene is basically a Hallmark movie come to life. Among the relatives gathered is Sophia's Aunt Sarah, who's brought special gifts for the kids in the family. Sarah is the cool aunt, the one who always knows what's trending, what kids actually want rather than what parents think they should want. For Sophia and her 6-year-old cousin Martina, Sarah has brought something trendy: Labubu blind box collectibles. These cute, fuzzy little creatures with big eyes and rainbow colors are currently taking the internet by storm, and getting your hands on them isn't always easy. Now, if you're not familiar with blind boxes, here's the deal. They're these mystery collectible toys where you don't know which variant you're getting until you open the box. It's basically gambling for kids, but legal and socially acceptable. Companies make certain versions rarer than others, and collectors go absolutely crazy trying to get the full set. Some of these things sell for insane amounts of money on the secondary market. There are entire online communities dedicated to trading them, buying them, and showing off rare finds. It's a whole subculture that most adults don't understand but can't deny the appeal of. But to these two little girls on Christmas morning, it's just exciting to see which cute fuzzy creature they're going to get. Sophia holds her box, shaking it slightly as if that'll give her a clue about what's inside. Martina is already tearing into hers with the enthusiasm only a 6-year-old can muster. The anticipation is palpable. Sophia opens her box first. She pulls out a pink Labubu, and there's this brief flicker of recognition on her face, but she stays quiet about it. She turns it over in her hands, examining it, and there's a moment where she seems slightly disappointed, but she doesn't say anything. She's 12, old enough to have learned that you don't complain about gifts, especially in front of the person who gave them to you. Then little Martina opens hers and gets a brown one. She pulls it out, looks at it, and for a second, she seems okay with it. It's cute, it's fuzzy, it's new. But then, and here's where you need to understand something about 6-year-olds. They don't always appreciate what they have until they see someone else has something different. Martina takes one look at that brown Labubu in her hands, then sees the pink one in Sophia's hands, and immediately decides that pink is better. Because of course she does. She's 6, and pink is, in the mind of many 6-year-old girls, the superior color for everything. Martina's bottom lip starts to quiver. Her eyes get that watery look that every parent recognizes as the warning sign before a full meltdown. She's trying to be brave, trying not to cry on Christmas, but she wants that pink Labubu so badly it physically hurts. She starts getting upset, doing that thing kids do where they're on the verge of tears but trying to hold it together because they know crying about presents is frowned upon. The adults in the room start to notice. Maria, Martina's mother, begins moving toward her daughter, probably preparing to have the "you get what you get and you don't get upset" conversation that every parent has had at some point. But before she can intervene, something happens that changes everything. Sophia, who's sitting there watching her little cousin get emotional, makes a decision that seems completely innocent and generous in the moment. She offers to trade. "Hey, you want to switch?" Sophia asks, her voice kind and understanding. "I actually already have the pink one at home. I was hoping I'd get the brown one." Martina's face transforms instantly. The tears disappear, replaced by pure joy. Her eyes light up like she just won the lottery. She nods so enthusiastically that her whole body moves with it. "Really? You mean it?" "Yeah, totally," Sophia says, already holding out the pink Labubu. "I wanted a different color anyway." The girls swap their Labubus right there, both of them absolutely thrilled with the trade. Martina clutches the pink one to her chest like it's the most precious thing in the world, which in her 6-year-old mind, it absolutely is. Sophia examines the brown one with genuine interest, turning it over, fluffing its fur, and smiling. Everyone's happy. The parents watching this exchange smile at how sweet it is, how mature Sophia is being, how nicely she handled the situation with her younger cousin. Problem solved, crisis averted, moving on to the next present. Sophia's parent watches this whole interaction carefully. As a parent, you learn to spot manipulation from a mile away. You develop a sixth sense for when your kid is being sneaky or taking advantage of someone younger or less aware. You watch for the signs, the fake sweetness, the calculated generosity that's really about getting something in return, the way a kid will set up a situation to benefit themselves while looking like they're being kind. But this seems totally innocent. Sophia didn't pressure Martina. She didn't dangle the toy and make her cousin beg for it. She didn't say, "I'll trade with you, but you have to give me something else too," or any of the manipulative tactics kids sometimes use. She saw her cousin was upset and offered a solution that made both girls happy. She was calm, straightforward, and genuinely seemed pleased with the brown Labubu. It's actually kind of mature and generous for a 12-year-old. The parent makes a mental note of how nicely their daughter handled the situation and moves on with their day, proud of the kind kid they're raising. Christmas continues in the usual chaotic, joyful way. There's dinner with all the traditional foods, the table overflowing with dishes that took hours to prepare. There's dessert, multiple desserts actually, because it's Christmas and calories don't count. There's the usual family catching up, relatives asking kids about school and hobbies, adults discussing work and life changes. Kids run around in sugar-induced hyperactive states, playing with their new toys, occasionally arguing about who gets to do what first. It's loud, it's messy, it's exhausting, and it's perfect. Everything is exactly how Christmas should be. Sophia plays with her new brown Labubu, completely content. She shows it to other family members, talks about how rare the brown ones are to get from blind boxes, and seems genuinely excited about her new addition to her collection. Martina clutches her pink one, like it's made of solid gold, refusing to put it down even to eat dinner, which results in some pink fuzz getting in her mashed potatoes. But she doesn't care. Both girls are in that perfect state of Christmas happiness that makes all the stress of holiday planning worthwhile. Everything is perfect, the family is together, everyone got gifts they loved, and the holiday spirit is in full force. As the day winds down and families start heading home, there's that warm, satisfied feeling that comes from a day well spent. But then, hours later, something shifts. Martina's parents, Maria and Jose, who had smiled at the trade earlier, who had seemed pleased with how maturely both girls handled the situation, suddenly have a very different expression on their faces. They've been at another gathering, maybe another family member's house or a friend's party. They've been showing off Martina's pink Labubu, probably taking cute pictures of her with it. And then they got into a conversation with someone, maybe a collector, maybe just someone who knows about these things. However it happens, They've just learned something that changes everything in their minds. That brown Labubu isn't just rare. It's not just uncommon. It's a secret edition, one of the ultra-rare variants the companies make in extremely limited quantities to drive up demand. Hardcore collectors, the kind of people who spend thousands of dollars on complete sets, are paying over $250 for these specific brown ones on secondary markets. Some listings online show them going for even more, depending on condition and demand. Let that sink in. That fuzzy little toy that their 6-year-old daughter traded away for a pink version, that toy she held for maybe 10 minutes before deciding she wanted a different color, is worth more than some people's car payments. It's worth more than a decent month of groceries. It's worth more than most people's Christmas budgets for their entire family. And now it's in Sophia's possession, sitting in her room, completely ignorant of its actual value. You can almost see the gears turning in Jose and Maria's heads. That moment when they realized they had something valuable and let it slip away. The instant regret. The calculation of what $250 could buy, what bills it could pay, what they could do with that money. Christmas just got expensive for them, and here's this found money they let walk out the door because they didn't know any better. But more than that, they start to recalculate the entire trade in their minds. What seemed like a sweet moment between cousins suddenly looks different through the lens of money. They start wondering if Sophia knew. Did she know it was worth that much? Did she deliberately take advantage of their daughter? The innocent trade they witnessed hours ago starts to look in their minds like a calculated con. The phone rings at Sophia's house around 8 o'clock that evening. Sophia and her parent are winding down from the day, probably cleaning up wrapping paper, maybe watching a Christmas movie, enjoying that peaceful exhaustion that comes after a big celebration. When they see Maria and Jose's name on the caller ID, they expect a thank you call, maybe a cute story about something Martina said about her new toy. But the moment Sophia's parent answers, they can tell something is wrong. The tone is different. Maria and Jose aren't calling to chat or share holiday cheer. They're calling with a purpose, and that purpose is immediately clear. They want the Labubu trade reversed. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not next time we see you. Right now, immediately, tonight. They want Sophia's parent to get in the car, drive an hour to their house, and swap the brown Labubu back for the pink one. At 8 p.m. on Christmas night. After everyone is tired and full and ready to relax, Sophia's parent is genuinely confused. Wait, what's going on? Does Martina actually want it back? Did she change her mind about the pink one? There's a pause on the other end of the line, the kind of pause that tells you the real reason is something they don't want to admit. That's not the point, Maria says, her voice tight with something that sounds like barely controlled frustration. Then what is the point? Sophia's parent asks, genuinely trying to understand why they're demanding a late-night, hour-long drive to reverse a trade that made both kids happy. Both girls were thrilled with the trade. Martina loves the pink one. Why would we upset them by forcing them to switch back? After some back and forth, some dancing around the real issue, Jose finally admits the truth. His voice has that edge to it that people get when they're trying to justify something they know is questionable. Someone, he explains, is willing to pay him $225 for the brown Labubu. They've already discussed it, already negotiated the price. This buyer will even give Martina the pink one she wants as part of the deal. It's perfect, he insists. Everyone wins. Except it's not about what Martina wants. It's not about the kids at all. It's about the money. Jose has already found a buyer, already negotiated a price, already mentally spent that cash, and now he just needs to get the merchandise back to complete the sale. It's a business transaction to him now, not a Christmas present, not a memory between cousins, but a commodity he needs to retrieve. Let's be crystal clear about what's happening here. Jose isn't concerned that his 6-year-old daughter got ripped off. He's not worried that she made a bad trade or that she'll regret it later or that she's upset about it now. Martina got exactly what she wanted and has been happily playing with the pink Labubu all day, sleeping with it next to her pillow, showing it to everyone who'll look. She's perfectly content. She has no idea her parents are even making this call. Jose is upset because he realized he could make over $200 by selling his daughter's Christmas present, and the only thing standing between him and that cash is a 12-year-old girl who made an innocent trade. His daughter's joy is less important than his potential profit. A Christmas memory between cousins is less valuable than a few $100. Sophia's parent feels something solidify in their chest, that feeling you get when you realize someone's true character. This isn't right. This isn't about fairness or protecting a child. This is about adults trying to profit off a Christmas gift and disguising it as concern for the younger kid. It's transparent, it's ugly, and it's not something they're going to facilitate. "I'm not going to force Sophia to give it back," Sophia's parent says firmly, their voice leaving no room for negotiation. Both girls were happy with the trade. Both girls got what they wanted. Sophia didn't manipulate or pressure Martina into anything. This was completely fair. The reaction on the other end of the phone is immediate and explosive. How dare they refuse? Maria's voice rises, sharp and accusatory. Jose's gets louder too, talking over his wife, both of them creating a cacophony of outrage. How dare Sophia's parent allow this? How dare they let a 12-year-old take advantage of a 6-year-old? They're being unreasonable, unfair, selfish. Don't they understand this is about doing the right thing? About protecting little Martina? But Sophia's parent isn't budging. They know what this is really about, and it's not protecting anyone except Jose's wallet. Before making their final decision, though, before this escalates any further, they need to make absolutely sure they have all the facts. They need to hear directly from Sophia what happened and whether there's any detail they missed. They excuse themselves from the phone call, telling Maria and Jose they'll call them back and go find their daughter. Sophia is in her room, the brown Labubu sitting on her desk where she can see it. She looks up when her parent enters, and you can see on her face that she knows something is wrong. "Sophia, I need to ask you some questions about the Labubu trade, and I need you to be completely honest with me," her parent says, sitting down and keeping their voice calm and neutral. Sophia nods, looking worried now. "Okay. Did you know the brown Labubu was worth money? Like, actual money that people would pay for it?" Sophia looks confused by the question. "Worth money? I mean, I knew it was rare. That's why I wanted it. You can't buy them in stores like regular toys. They're blind boxes, so you can't pick which one you get. They just make fewer brown ones, so they're harder to pull. But I didn't know people sold them or how much they cost. I just knew I already had the pink one at home and I wanted a different color for my collection." Her parent studies her carefully, looking for any sign of deception. They know their kid inside and out. They know her tells when she's lying. She looks down, and to the left, she talks faster, she touches her face. Right now, Sophia is making direct eye contact. Her voice is steady, and she genuinely seems confused about why this is even an issue. She's not a good liar under the best circumstances. There's no way she's pulling off an elaborate con right now. "When Martina wanted to trade, did you convince her to do it? Did you pressure her or make her feel bad about having the brown one?" "No," Sophia says immediately, emphatically. "She started crying because she wanted the pink one. She was really upset. I told her we could switch because I already have pink at home and I didn't mind. She got so happy, like immediately stopped crying and everything. We both were happy. I don't understand why this is a problem." And there it is. The truth, simple and uncomplicated. This was an innocent trade between two kids. Sophia saw her cousin upset and offered a solution that benefited both of them. She didn't know about the money, didn't manipulate anyone, didn't leverage superior knowledge to trick a younger child. She was being kind, generous even, and now she's being treated like she did something wrong. Sophia's parent feels their resolve strengthen. They know what the right call is here. They go back to the phone and relay this information to Maria and Jose, explaining calmly and clearly that they will not force Sophia to reverse the trade. And that's when things get truly ugly. That's when the veneer of family civility cracks completely and shows what's underneath. "Your daughter is a manipulative little Jose screams into the phone, his voice so loud that Sophia's parent has to hold the phone away from their ear. There's a moment of stunned silence. Did he really just say that? Did this grown man, this father, this person who sat at their Christmas table hours ago, really just call a 12-year-old child that word over a toy he wants to sell?" "Excuse me?" Sophia's parent says, their voice dangerously quiet in the way that people who are truly angry get quiet rather than loud. But Jose is on a roll now, his greed-fueled rage making him say things that can't be unsaid. He hurls accusations at Sophia, calling her sneaky, manipulative, calculating, sly. He insists she knew exactly what she was doing, that she's too smart not to have known, that she scammed a little girl out of hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise. He makes this 12-year-old sound like some kind of criminal mastermind who orchestrated an elaborate Christmas heist, like she's running some kind of collectible toy con game. Maria backs him up, piling on additional accusations. How could Sophia's parent allow this? What kind of parent lets their child exploit a 6-year-old? They're teaching Sophia that it's okay to take advantage of people. They're setting a terrible example. They're raising a child with no morals, no conscience. On and on it goes, the two of them tag-teaming with increasingly hostile accusations, each one more ridiculous than the last. But here's what's really happening, and it's painfully transparent to anyone watching the situation objectively. Jose and Maria are furious that they can't get their hands on $225 that they feel entitled to. They feel robbed, cheated, like something that belongs to them was stolen. They're projecting their own greed, their own mercenary view of their daughter's Christmas present onto a 12-year-old child and attacking her character to justify their demands. It has nothing to do with fairness. It has nothing to do with protecting Martina, who is blissfully asleep cuddling her beloved pink Labubu. It's about money, pure and simple. The conversation deteriorates even further from there. Jose makes vague threats about handling this himself, about coming over there to get what's mine, language that's borderline threatening. Maria calls Sophia's parent unreasonable, selfish, a bad parent, a bad sibling. They demand to speak to Sophia directly, presumably to intimidate or guilt-trip her into giving up the toy, to make her feel so terrible about what she did that she caves to their demands. Sophia's parent refuses flatly. "Absolutely not. You're not speaking to my daughter after what you just called her. This conversation is over." They hang up. Their hands are shaking with anger. They can hear Sophia in her room, probably listening to the whole thing through her closed door. They take a moment to collect themselves, to let their heartbeat slow down, to push past the rage they're feeling at hearing their child verbally abused by a family member. When they go to Sophia's room, she's sitting on her bed looking small and scared. "Dad, Mom, what's happening? Why is Uncle Jose so mad at me?" And that's when Sophia's parent has to explain to their 12-year-old daughter that sometimes adults act worse than children, that sometimes people value money more than relationships, and that what she did was kind and generous and not wrong at all. They have to watch their daughter cry because her uncle called her a terrible name over something she thought was good. They have to comfort her while simultaneously wanting to protect her from ever having to deal with people like Jose again. The call ends badly, obviously, with both sides angry and the issue unresolved. But for Sophia's parent, something has fundamentally shifted. This isn't just about a toy anymore. This is about protecting their daughter from family members who are willing to attack a child when money is on the line. This is about drawing a line in the sand and deciding what kind of behavior they're going to tolerate from people who claim to care about them. Over the next few days, the situation doesn't improve. It gets worse. Jose and Maria keep pushing, keep making demands, keep insisting the trade needs to be reversed. They text, they call, they leave voicemails. They recruit other family members to their cause, trying to apply pressure from multiple angles. Some relatives, uncomfortable with conflict and wanting everyone to just get along, suggest that Sophia's parents should just give back the toy to keep the peace. It's just a toy, they say. Is it really worth splitting the family over this? But other family members see exactly what's happening. They're quiet about it, not wanting to get involved in the drama, but they know. They know what Jose and Maria are really after, and they quietly support Sophia's parents' decision to stand firm. Sarah, the aunt who originally gave the Labubus as gifts, has the most reasonable take on the situation when someone asks her opinion. "This is stupid parent drama," she tells anyone who asks. "I gave both girls a gift. They both liked what they got after trading. I'm staying out of it. The girls are happy. The adults need to sort out their own issues and stop dragging kids into their nonsense." But Jose and Maria won't let it go. The brown Labubu has become an obsession for them, a symbol of money they feel they're owed. It represents cash they've already spent in their minds, bills they've planned to pay with it, things they have mentally purchased. Every day that passes with Sophia keeping that toy is another day they're being robbed of their rightful profit. The longer it goes on, the more entitled they feel to it, the more justified they feel in their anger. Sophia, meanwhile, is confused and hurt by the whole situation. She doesn't understand why her uncle is so angry at her. She doesn't understand what she did wrong. She made a trade that her cousin was happy with, a trade that made both of them smile. And now suddenly she's being called names and accused of being manipulative. She keeps asking her parent if she should just give it back, if it would make everyone happy again, if it would fix things. And her parent has to explain that giving in to bullies, even when those bullies are family, doesn't actually fix anything. It just teaches them that their tactics work, that if they yell loud enough and make enough threats, they'll get what they want. It's a hard lesson for a 12-year-old to learn, but an important one. Sophia's parent watches their daughter deal with this stress, watches her lose sleep over it, watches her second-guess an act of kindness, and something hardens inside them. They think about Jose calling Sophia a bitch. They think about the vicious accusations, the demands made. At 8 p.m. on Christmas night, the complete disregard for Sophia's feelings or the reality of what actually happened. They think about how Jose and Maria are more concerned with making a quick $225 than with their own daughter's happiness. Because let's not forget, Martina is still thrilled with her pink Labubu and has no idea any of this is happening. A decision forms, clear and unambiguous. If Jose and Maria are willing to attack a 12-year-old child over toy profits, if they're willing to destroy family harmony for a couple $100, if they're willing to show this level of toxicity and verbal abuse over something this ultimately petty, then they don't deserve to be part of future family celebrations. Some lines, once crossed, can't be uncrossed. Some words, once said, can't be taken back. Some behaviors reveal fundamental character flaws that can't be ignored. Sophia's parent makes the call. They send a carefully worded message to Jose and Maria, not angry or emotional, just clear and firm. Due to their behavior, their verbal abuse of Sophia, and their complete inability to act like reasonable adults, they are no longer welcome at future Christmas gatherings hosted by Sophia's family. They're banned. Not from the entire extended family celebrations. Other relatives can make their own choices about who they invite. But Sophia will not be spending holidays with people who call her vile names and treat her like a criminal for making an innocent trade. The message goes on to explain that this isn't about the toy. It's about respect. It's about protecting a child from verbal abuse. It's about teaching Sophia that she doesn't have to accept being treated this way by anyone, even family. Maybe someday, if Jose and Maria sincerely apologize and show genuine remorse for their behavior, things could be revisited. But for now, the boundary is set and it's not negotiable. The reaction is exactly what you'd expect. Jose and Maria are outraged, absolutely beside themselves. How dare Sophia's parent exclude them from family events over a toy? How dare they be so dramatic? They fire back messages claiming they're the real victims here, that they're being punished for trying to protect their daughter, that Sophia's parent is being unreasonable and vindictive. Some family members think Sophia's parent is going too far, that banning people from Christmas is extreme. It's just a fight over a toy, they say. Families fight. You work through it. You don't cut people off over one argument. Christmas is about family and forgiveness and coming together despite disagreements. But Sophia's parent disagrees. This isn't about the toy, and it's not about one argument. This is about fundamental values and boundaries. This is about whether you're willing to call a 12-year-old girl a ba because she won't give you something to sell. This is about whether greed gets to override basic human decency and respect. This is about whether they're going to teach their daughter that maintaining family peace is more important than maintaining self-respect. Other family members, while not saying so publicly to avoid the drama, quietly support the decision. They've seen Jose's true colors come out during this fight. They've watched him value a couple $100 over his relationship with his niece. They've heard the vile things he said about a child. They've witnessed the threats, the manipulation attempts, the complete unwillingness to admit that maybe, just maybe, he's in the wrong here. And they can't really blame Sophia's parent for not wanting their daughter around that kind of toxicity. Christmas comes around the following year, and true to their word, Sophia's parent hosts a celebration that doesn't include Jose, Maria, and by extension, little Martina. It's smaller, but it's peaceful. There's no tension, no walking on eggshells, no wondering if someone's going to blow up over something trivial. Sophia is relaxed and happy, laughing and playing, not worried about facing the uncle who called her names or having to defend herself from accusations. She still has the brown Labubu, which sits on her shelf as a reminder that sometimes doing the right thing means standing your ground, even when people try to bully you into backing down. The toy has become more than just a collectible now. It's a symbol. It represents her parent choosing her well-being over family peace. It represents standing up against greed and manipulation. It represents the lesson that some people will show you who they really are when money is involved, and it's okay to believe them the first time. Martina, sadly, is caught in the middle of adult drama she doesn't understand and didn't create. She still has her pink Labubu and loves it, completely unaware that her parents tried to sell her Christmas present and attacked her cousin when they couldn't get it back. She's confused about why they don't see Sophia anymore, why there are now separate Christmas celebrations. When she asks, her parents probably tell her some version of events where they're the victims, where mean Sophia and her parent excluded them for no good reason, where they tried to do the right thing and got punished for it. But the truth, as always, is more complicated and more simple at the same time. The truth is that Jose and Maria valued money over family. They valued a couple $100 over maintaining a relationship with their niece. They were willing to hurt a child to get what they wanted, and when that didn't work, when their manipulation and threats failed, they attacked her character and made her feel terrible about an act of generosity. The brown Labubu sits on Sophia's shelf not just as a collectible, but as a tangible reminder of something important. It represents the moment when her parent chose her well-being over family peace. It represents the lesson that some people will show you who they really are when money is involved, and it's okay to believe them. It represents the understanding that standing up for yourself sometimes means creating distance from toxic people, even when those people are family, and even when other people think you're being too harsh. Jose and Maria still think they're the victims in this story. They probably tell anyone who'll listen about how Sophia scammed their innocent daughter and how they were unjustly banned from family events for trying to make it right. They're still angry about that $225 they never got, still convinced that they were robbed of something that belonged to them, still believing they did nothing wrong. But here's the thing that they can't or won't understand: that money was never theirs. That toy was a gift to their daughter, not an investment opportunity for them. The moment they decided to try to profit off Martina's Christmas present, the moment they saw their 6-year-old's joy as less important than a few $100s, the moment they called a 12-year-old child a b***** for not facilitating their greed, they revealed something fundamental about their values and character. And when you reveal that kind of character, when you show that level of toxicity, there are consequences. The story of the Christmas Labubu trade is really a story about what happens when adult greed collides with childhood innocence. Two little girls made a trade that made both of them happy. They got what they wanted, no manipulation, no pressure, no regrets. It was pure and simple and good. But the adults around them couldn't leave it alone. They saw dollar signs where kids saw toys. They saw profit margins where kids saw fun. They saw a transaction where kids saw kindness. And when they couldn't manipulate their way into that profit, when their tactics of demanding and threatening didn't work, they turned vicious and revealed who they really are. Sophia learned some hard lessons that Christmas. She learned that sometimes people will attack you not because you did something wrong, but because you have something they want. She learned that family doesn't always mean unconditional support, that some relatives will turn on you when money is involved, that blood relation doesn't guarantee decent treatment. She learned that her parent will protect her even when it means standing up to other adults, even when it means creating family conflict, even when other people think they're overreacting. But she also learned something positive, something important, that it's okay to stand your ground when you've done nothing wrong. That generosity isn't wrong just because someone else decides to be greedy. That the adults in her life value her well-being and mental health more than keeping toxic people happy. That boundaries are important and enforcing them is not just acceptable, but necessary. The moral of this story isn't complicated, even though the emotions involved certainly are. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. When a grown man is willing to call a 12-year-old child vile names over a collectible toy, that tells you everything you need to know about his character and priorities. When someone values a couple $100s more than their relationship with family members, when they're willing to threaten and manipulate and verbally abuse to get that money, they're making a choice about what matters to them. And sometimes, the healthiest response to that kind of behavior is to simply remove those people from your life. Not as punishment, not as revenge, but as protection. Because if they're willing to go nuclear over a Christmas toy trade, if they're willing to attack a child to get what they want, if they've shown they value money over everything else, including basic human decency, then they've demonstrated they're not safe people to have around, especially not around children. Sophia still has her brown Labubu. It's been over a year now, and she still treasures it, though probably not because of its monetary value. She treasures it because of what it represents, because of the stand her parent took for her, because of the lesson it taught her about self-worth and boundaries. Jose and Maria still don't have their $225. They're still bitter about it, still convinced they were wronged. They've missed multiple family celebrations now, multiple chances to watch their niece grow up, multiple memories they can never get back. And all because they couldn't let go of the idea that they were entitled to profit from their daughter's Christmas present. Future Christmas celebrations are indeed smaller now, but they're also more peaceful, more genuine, more focused on what the holiday should actually be about. There's no tension hanging in the air. There's no wondering if someone's going to blow up over something small. There's no walking on eggshells or managing difficult personalities. It's just family who actually care about each other, who treat each other with respect, who don't see their children's gifts as investment opportunities. The greedy uncle learned a hard lesson, though he probably still doesn't recognize it as such, that exploitation and abuse have consequences. That you can't verbally attack a child and expect to maintain your place at the family table. That some boundaries, once crossed, result in permanent exile. That greed, when it overrides every other value you might claim to have, will eventually cost you more than any amount of money could be worth. And in the end, isn't that what the holiday spirit is really about? Not stuff, not money, not profit margins on collectible toys or opportunities to make a quick buck. It's about protecting the innocent, standing up for what's right, maintaining boundaries that keep everyone safe, and making sure the people around your table are ones who lift each other up rather than tear each other down for profit. The pink Labubu and the brown Labubu are both still bringing joy to their respective owners. But only one family learned what matters more than money. Only one family protected their child's innocence and generous spirit. Only one family is still whole. Merry Christmas, Jose. Enjoy your permanent ban and the $225 you never got. Hope it was worth everything you lost.